Hello, friends. This is Chandrakant from Makul Mac Technologies. Welcome to Top Brass. And as you know, in this segment, we discuss about human rights. And to discuss this, we have our friend from Ahmedabad, Mr. Nagesh Sood, who is a very senior practicing lawyer in Ahmedabad High Court and also a very well-known human rights activist across India. So, without further ado, let me welcome Nagesh to Top Brass.
Hi Chandrakant, hope you're doing fine and thank you very much for inviting me over.
Absolutely, we are fine, and with your wisdom and your knowledge, we are actually embarking on understanding the human rights. And today, we would like to discuss a very important right, which is related to right against exploitation. So, what is your opinion on this one?
Yes, CK, right against exploitation is very important for everyone to understand because this right prohibits all forms of forced labor, child labor, and trafficking of human beings. It also prohibits human trafficking, which means buying and selling of men, women, and children for immoral purposes. It prohibits forced labor or beggar in any form, prohibits child labor. That means no one can employ children under the age of 40. So the right against exploitation is enshrined in Indian Constitution, which guarantees dignity of the individual. So it prohibits the exploitation or misuse of service by force or inducement in different ways. That is, prohibits human trafficking. It criminalizes buying and selling of human beings like a commodity. The right against exploitation is enshrined in Article 23 and 24 of the Indian Constitution. These are very important fundamental rights and they are guaranteed to every citizen against the kind of forced labor. Article 23, if I may speak, is prohibition of traffic in human beings and forced labor and other similar activities. That is, any violation of this provision will be considered as an offense and the person acting in contravention of the law will be penalized. Now, one of the features of Article 23 is that it is a right against exploitation and is a fundamental right under the Constitution of India. It protects both the citizens and non-citizens against exploitation. If somebody who has come to India for travel or is staying in India, so he is also protected under this article against any kind of exploitation. It further protects individuals against state as well as private citizens. So, if a person is exploited by the government or any private citizen, this law can be invoked and there will be protection granted to that person. Now, this article imposes a positive obligation on the state, that means government, state as well as central government, to abolish immoral practices of exploitation like human trafficking and other forms of forced labor. Now, what are the practices prohibited under this article? One is begging, that is, it is a form of forced labor, which means involuntary work without any remuneration. Uh, the person here is compelled to work against his will without being paid for it. Next is bonded labor or debt bondage, which is prohibited because it is a form of forced labor as per this article. This is a practice under which a person is forced to work to pay off his debt. Then, of course, human trafficking, which means selling and buying of men, women, and children, and includes immoral trafficking of women and children. Slavery is also prohibited, though it is not expressly mentioned under Article 23. So the Parliament has also passed certain laws, one being Suppression of Immoral Traffic in Women and Girls Act 1956, which punishes human trafficking. Then there is an exception to this article, which is under Article 23(2), the state is or the government is allowed to impose compulsory services for public purpose like national defense, removal of illiteracy, and other public utility services like electricity, water, air, and rail services, provided that in making in such service compulsory for public purpose, the government cannot make discrimination on the basis of religion, race, caste, or class, or any of them. There are some landmark judgments of the Supreme Court. One is People's Union for Democratic Rights versus Union of India, in which, while invoking Article 23, the Supreme Court held that physical or legal force cannot be used to compel a person to work against his will on less than a minimum wage. Then another case, namely Sanjeet Roy versus State of Rajasthan, it was held that payment of wages lower than minimum wage to a person employed in famine relief work is violative under Article 23. Then in Dina versus Union of India, the laborers taken from the prisons without paying remuneration was considered as forced labor, and it was held by the Supreme Court that prisoners are also entitled for payment of reasonable wages for the work being taken from them. Now, the other article that is very important against exploitation is Article 24. This article prohibits the employment of children below 14 years of age in hazardous work. The article is to be read with Article 39(e) and (f). It ensures safety and healthy life of children, and it also imposes a duty on the government to ensure that children are not abused and forced to work in harmful places because of the financial problems. The judgments, landmark judgments under this article are People's Union for Democratic Rights versus Union of India, wherein children below age of 14 years who were employed in the construction work of Asia project in Delhi were held to be not legal, and they could not have been employed by even the government for this Asia project. That was the decision given by the Supreme Court. In another case, the children who were engaged in cracker factories, the Supreme Court held that it was a kind of hazardous work and laid down guidelines so that the social, economic, and the humanitarian rights of the children are protected, and they are prohibited from illegally working in public and private sector. There are various legislation for protection of child rights. There are conventions where India is signatory, that one being UN Convention on the Rights of Child. The various laws in India are Employment of Children Act 1938, which prohibits the employment of children below the age of 14. Then there is an act called the Child Labor Prohibition and Regulation Act 1986. It prohibits the engagement of children in certain employments and regulates the condition of employments of children where they are not prohibited to work. Then there is Mines Act 1952. It mentions that a person working in the mine should not be less than 18 years, thus prohibiting employment of children in mines. The Factories Act 1948, it prohibits the employment of children below 14 years in factories. This act also prescribes certain restrictions and proper procedure for employing children above the age of 14. Then there is Plantation Labor Act 1959. The act fixes the minimum age of employment as 12 years, uh, who can be employed in plantation as laborers. Uh, it further lays down provision for periodical fitness and checkup for children above 12 years who are employed. Then there is Motor Transport Workers Act 1961, which prohibits the employment of children under the age of 15 years. Apprentice Act 1961 prohibits the children below 14 years to undergo apprenticeship training. Then BD and Cigar Workers Condition of Employment Act prohibits children below 14 years of age in any industrial premises manufacturing BDs and cigars. Then there are various commissions and NGOs working towards rights to children. One commission being a National Commission for Protection of Child Rights, which is an Indian government commission established in 2007 under the Commission for Protection of Child Rights Act 2005. The objective of this commission is to ensure all the laws, policies, programs, and administrative mechanisms are conducted in accordance with the provision of child rights enshrined under the Indian Constitution and UN Convention on the Rights of Children. So these are the important rights which are available to children, men and women against exploitation under the Indian Constitution.
Well, Nagesh, I think you have spoken for quite some time, and you gave a lot of cases as a reference in your conversation. But I think the whole point is that exploitation of any kind is absolutely against the humankind, and children below 14 years cannot be allowed to get any sort of employment, either paid or unpaid, in any industry across the length and breadth of India. And if you're adult, then you cannot exploit anybody's situation. And when you take services, you got to pay for these services. So these are certain things. I'm just summarizing what you just told me today. So Nagesh, I think I have one very important question to ask. If something of this sort is happening, then what a person who's not literate, he should do to avoid any exploitation to him or her?
Yes, CK, first of all, you see, the condition in our country is such that people are not aware of their rights. People are not aware as to what are the remedies available to them. Now, there is very much laws in place wherein there is prohibition prescribed, and also the remedies are there under such laws. Under the Constitution, there is a provision for legal remedies wherein any person can approach the High Court and the Supreme Court under Article 32 and Article 226 of the Constitution of India whenever there is an infringement of his rights and also the right to exploitation. Now, in the laws, some of which I mentioned here, also provides remedies to the people who are employed in the mines, in the factories, or in any other employment space. So the rights are very much available. When you say that people who are illiterate, first of all, you see, if anybody works in any environment, he must be aware of that environment. And it is very essential to be connected to people who are working, along with him, so that, when you talk about things, when you share your problems, I guess, through exchange of word, as today we are exchanging our experiences and knowledge, likewise, those person can be made aware of. Now, there are various NGOs which are also working towards this right to exploit against exploitation, and there are people who are going into the workplaces in different work environments and bringing awareness in people who are illiterate. There are a lot of methods, a lot of media which is involved wherein the awareness is being spread. So I believe that it's a gradual process. People would gradually learn about their rights as well as their obligations once they are informed by some people who are aware and who have the knowledge of their rights and obligations.
I think what you're saying is very, very important and very critical, specifically when it comes to younger children who are getting exploited, and more so when they are orphaned, when they don't have elders with them. And unfortunately, there are certain parts of India where there are certain street children who are born on the street. They can be exploited. So it is good to know that there are NGOs who are taking uh, interest in making sure that human right values are maintained, and they are fighting for these children. Because if you're adult, you can be given knowledge, you can be given orientation, you can be given some experience, and you can do a little bit of hand holding. I think the real problem is if there are orphan children who can be exploited in whatever way, either trafficking or some sort of work which is not allowed. So I think my only learning for today is that I think you form a very important part of our discussions. Our viewers are liking it, specifically when it comes to anything related to children. People are definitely liking it and giving their comments. So I think today's episode is very important. I think as a citizen, whoever is watching this program should have the knowledge of what Nagesh has told us today. There are laws and bylaws in this country. We should not allow any exploitation around us. When we see as citizens, responsible citizens, any sort of exploitation happening with men, women, or children, we should always oppose it, and we should always report to authorities. So with this, I will end my program today, Nagesh. Thank you very much for coming online with us, and it was a great learning today.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure sharing my little knowledge and experience with you, Chandrakant. Thank you once again. It was pleasure.
So we'll catch up once again next week on some other aspect of human rights. Until then, you have a nice weekend.
Thank you. Bye-bye. You take care.
Bye-bye.